So the first two bans, a little bit surprising, and then we don't typically see these heroes in the tier 1 bans. We have Navi banning out the Darkseer and Mousesports banning out Syllabear. I'm not sure if that's just a respect ban on the Syllabear because they're afraid of like maybe Havast's Scylla play. But that's certainly interesting that we would see both those two heroes banned. Darkseer usually occupies sort of this comfortable area where he's not quite good enough to spend first round bans on typically, but he's also good enough that you want to pick him. So we see him in so many games. And it is also interesting the first round of bans is taking the amount of time that it's taking. Usually it's pretty quick. We get 4 of the big 7 or 8 meta heroes banned out right off the bat, and then 2 or 3 more of them get snapped up. Bat Rider's going to get banned out. That's probably because they just don't want to play against Indy's Bat. The guy can be pretty strong with that hero mid, and Bat Rider's the kind of hero who can just dominate a game. The Gyrocopter gets banned out, something that I am personally thankful for because I think this will be the first game in the better part of a week that I will not be seeing a Gyrocopter in. But that does mean that we get Keeper of the Light and Wisp up on Navi, and Mousesports is going to get Nyx Assassin. Keeper of the Light, and Wisp are going to be a very, very powerful hero combination with each other. Wisp's ability to globally teleport is further complemented by Keeper of the Light's ability to recall heroes. So with Wisp now, you can carry Keeper of the Light across the map, and then have Keeper of the Light summon another teammate to where he's standing. So effectively now you have, instead of 2-man Wisp teleports, you have 3-man Wisp teleports. And if Navi was to do something particularly cute like pick up a Lifestealer again, they could have Lifestealer infest Wisp or Keeper of the Light, then have Keeper of the Light bring someone with his recall, and they could just move 4 heroes around the map on every Wisp cooldown. That would be pretty cool to see, and I imagine that because of that, Mousesports is going to pick Lifestealer. You know, a lot of times in these kind of situations when you see the sort of obnoxious synergies coming down from the opposing team, you just go ahead and pick up one of the heroes as a way of keeping them from being able to play them. Mousesports, though, not quite sure what they want to do here. Eating up most of their reserve time already. Only got 30 seconds left for the entirety of the draft. And that's really not a lot as we continue to see it dwindle. They're going to have to make a decision here now, to be honest. They can't afford to run this reserve time out. And yet they do. We're now down to 10 seconds of reserve time for Mousesports. Approaching 5 seconds. This is
5 seconds remaining.
do we have a DC? Well, there's the Lifestealer pickup and Brewmaster. Okay. So, Lifestealer pickup makes absolute sense for the reasons that I was mentioning earlier. Brewmaster pickup, that hero just absolutely fantastic. He gets level 6, and but that means they have Chaos Knight. So Wisp Chaos Knight is just an absolutely huge combination of heroes to have together. Chaos Knight's ability to land a 4-second stun and his damage output means that Wisp is just going to kind of pick him up and throw him around the map, and he's going to kill heroes, hopefully. And I believe the Brewmaster pickup was Mousesports recognizing that, right? Like, they say, we don't want to take Chaos Knight because we don't feel like we have a use for him. But we also don't want him to just get free kills on heroes. So Lifestealer's a safe pick, right? His magic immunity is going to keep him relatively safe from Chaos Knight's shenanigans. And Brewmaster's a nice pick because his ultimate is going to allow him to escape those Wisp Chaos Knight ganks. And then, of course, Nyx Assassin can go invisible. We do see some bans coming out in the form of Rubik and Shadow Demon for Navi. Both really strong supports, and that's probably what they're going to continue to ban here, considering the 2 carries and the semi-carry or ganking hero that are currently on Mousesports lineup. They want to pick up some good supports for their last 2 picks. Broodmother getting banned out along with Magnus and Puck. 2 strong mid heroes, 1 hero that can mid, 2 strong, 3 strong off lane heroes. So they're recognizing that the tri-lane from Navi right now is going to be Chaos Knight, Wisp, and Keeper, and then just trying to keep them off of tier 1 mid and off lane picks. I'll be interested to see what Navi bans out here, because They're kind of awkward lanes. You might see Nyx Assassin in a tri-lane with Lifestealer and then Brewmaster in the off lane. Nature's Prophet going to get banned out, and that's just Navi saying, you know, we don't want to deal with the other team also being all over the map, right? Like, we just want to teleport it on you, get 2 quick kills, and then push tower. Mousesports here, like I said, going to want to pick up 2 pretty solid support heroes. Some heroes that are left in that have not been picked up yet. Out of the really top tier supports, we might see a Magnus, or not a Magnus.
5 seconds remaining.
An Undying. Oh, but Mousesports is okay, they pick up the Enigma. With only 2 seconds of reserve time left, they can't mess around and think about these picks for a long time. Navi, of course, in the opposite situation with full reserve time left, they have what feels like all the time in the world to decide exactly what heroes they want to play in this game. Enigma's curious. He's a hero that typically is in the jungle. He can lane it relatively effectively, but I'm
10 seconds
I'm willing
remaining.
to venture out and say my personal opinion is that Enigma is wasted if he's not in the jungle. His ability to farm up a really quick insert core item here is absolutely phenomenal, and then he can come out of the jungle with level 6 and get a big black hole. Navi here, gonna be wanting to pick up a strong mid and a strong off lane hero. I would have. Okay, Bounty Hunter's gonna go in the off lane. That makes a ton of sense. Bounty Hunter, also his Shuriken with its mini stun is going to be really nice against Enigma. Enigma now has to make sure that he absolutely gets Keeper of the Light, Chaos Knight, and Bounty Hunter in his stuns, because otherwise all 3 of them are able to disable the channel of his black hole. And I think Bounty Hunter in general just is a really smart pick in this situation from Navi. Mousesports now with 15 seconds left to pick their final hero. You know they got to be feeling the pressure on that. And you have to wonder if Enigma was really their one true ideal pick for the situation, or if they just kind of did what they had to do. And they pick up a Vengeful Spirit. Venge is not a hero that we see a whole ton in competitive Dota right now, but I do like her in this situation. She's got her Swamp, she's got her Stun. That's going to give her the ability to if she sees Chaos Knight first, maybe, you know, manage to get to safety. And she's just a good all-around support hero. It'll also be nice that her armor debuff will take Chaos Knight down a step in that regard. And Navi here is going to be looking for a mid hero, I would imagine. Well, they might run Wisp Chaos Knight mid. If they run Wisp Chaos Knight mid, then expect to see another semi-carry here to lane with Keeper of the Light. You know, the Cancer Lancer hasn't been picked. They could go with the Cancer Lancer here. I apologize, my voice is giving me a lot more trouble than I was hoping for it to. Navi using up that well-earned reserve time to really think out this pick. I would imagine that there will be a tri-lane consisting of Keeper of the Light, Wisp, and Chaos Knight, but that's not necessarily set in stone, so I'll be interested to see if they pick a mid-hero here. Or if they pick someone to lane with Keeper. And that really is going to lead them in completely... Okay, so there's what it is. Tiny's going to be laning with Keeper to Light. Wisp and Chaos Knight are going to be middle. Bounty Hunter is going to be in the off lane. Meanwhile, on Mousesports, we're probably going to see a Lifestealer, Enigma, Vengeful Spirit tri-lane with Brewmaster mid, Nyx in the off lane, I would imagine. It'd be interesting to see exactly how their lanes work out. Nyx Assassin always kind of an oddity in terms of what lane he's going to be going into. Sometimes you see heroes, or you see teams play him in the tri-lane. Sometimes they get sent mid. Sometimes he gets sent into the off lane. He really plays all of the potential lanes. And that's one of the reasons that he's such a favorite in the meta right now, is he's versatile. You can stick him in a lot of places, and he'll do pretty well for himself. Even in a support role, his abilities are pretty powerful.
5 seconds remaining.
I apologize for that. Havast very kindly sharing the Dr. Kleiner announcer that we will not be using in this game. And I forgot to set my camera view again. I have to remember to do that. And we have a quick pause. Someone on Mouse really had to go. So that'll give us some time to work through the lineups here. We see Havast on the Tiny from Navi. And we have Light of Heaven on the Bounty Hunter. We do see Puppy on the Wisp. Dindy is going to be on the Chaos Knight. That makes a lot of sense. Assad is going to be on the Keeper of the Light. Over on the Radiant side, we got Fata on Brewmaster. Brewmaster picks himself up a Stout Shield. Doesn't really tell me where he's going. Nyx Assassin is going to be played by Karaki. Black is going to be on the Lifestealer. Makes sense there. And Alex is going to be on the Vengeful Spirit. Now let's all look at Mouse's courier and feel bad for them because it's not special in any way, shape, or form, and that's just really sad for a pro Dota team to not have a cool courier. And Greevils are just lame anyway. Oh, and Paz, I apologize for forgetting him, is going to be playing on the Enigma. As we go back over to Navi's side, we see that Navi has the venerated Weasel Crow. This is, of course, a weasel that will become a crow. That is the team courier of Navi, which I am insanely jealous. And it looks like we will be getting underway here momentarily. Bounty Hunter gets bought. Yeah, he's going to go in the off lane with double tangos like that. Not that there was really any doubt to begin with. Look at that weasel. Look at it. Look at it. That's so cute. It's going to be a crow soon. It's going to sprout wings and become a completely different animal because fuck the world, that's why. Black and Alex going to head down bottom. And Enigma's going to probably go into the jungle. And then we'll see Nyx on the off lane and Brewmaster mid. Pretty interesting that neither team is playing sort of aggressively off the start here. We have Navi with Dindy just kind of sitting there in mid lane. Puppy getting ready to go back there. The Weasel is, for some reason, running out into the bottom lane. He stops just in front of Navi's tower. Okay, he's going to get the wards off of Light of Heaven, and those are going to get transferred up to the top or mid lane. I thought maybe they mismicroed the courier or something. We were going to have a gruesome weasel death at the start of the game. And we do see the Observer Ward here. It's in that magical rock that's going to block all three of these creep spawns. So completely and totally turns off the jungle. Now we do have Puppy come in on Alex right off the bat. Karaki's going to throw down his Impale. Puppy's going to get stunned up by the Vengeful, but with the movement speed and the regen, Puppy and Light of Heaven just going to walk away. And Puppy's going to pick up those Obs wards off the ground. Illusion Rune is going to be found by Coddle Top. Coddle Tiny just going to be an absolutely obnoxious lane for whoever's unfortunate enough to play against it. Tiny is just going to spam his skills all game. And we do see Puppy is going to go in with the Dindy stun out on Fata. Fata, though, might kill Puppy here. No, Puppy pops his salve. Karaki came in for some support but didn't quite get it, and the salves popped off on the Brewmaster as well. Oh, hi, Katy Perry. There's not a whole lot going on in here. Just doing a little bit of what you call a Dota. And like that's the thing about the Wisp, right? They're just gonna regenerate any kind of harassment that gets placed upon them. Fata can use that mana all he wants. He's just gonna get hooked back up, yeah, onto Puppy by that static link, the tether, and the tether is gonna heal him right back up to full because those two heroes are gonna share Wisp's regeneration. And we do see, again, that Mouse is abandoning one of the lanes. They're just plain not sending anybody against Coddle Tiny. And I think that's a relatively intelligent play. They don't want to commit a hero to what's essentially going to be just getting stunned over and over and over again. They don't want to send a solo laner up against that. So they'll have their Enigma up in the jungle. I thought that rock, is it this rock that's the magic rock that blocks all three camps? I thought it was that one, but apparently I was wrong because two of the camps did spawn. And Light of Heaven going to sneak in here and try to steal off a little bit of that CS, but he's not going to get it done. There is no vision, though, for Mouse down here, so he's going to get to be annoying as long as he likes. Alex gets the counter ward down on that pull camp. That's going to give them use of that again. Light of Heaven just gonna be being sneaky, right? being annoying, being bounty hunter. Bounty hunter, killer of couriers, and general nuisance. Wisp finds herself a double damage rune. And Dindy tries to reality rift in on Fata. Doesn't quite get it to latch as Fata walks uphill and breaks the animation. Dindy, though, still got full mana, and he has level 1. He took a level 3 stats, which is pretty interesting to me. You would think that you would... Okay. For some reason, it wasn't showing me the ability of him to level that up. That was really strange. But I don't think Navi really wants to engage into this. They know there's nobody top, so they know that there's, you know, a large number of Mouse's heroes in that jungle. It's reasonable for them to expect that if they try to overcommit on Brewmaster, that they're going to be punished for it. But with the Tiny and the Coddle, we see just a repeat of last game, just mirror the teams. That top tier 1 tower is going to be going down for Radiant pretty much right off the bat, I would imagine. I don't imagine Mouse is going to come up and try to defend that. And we do see the Brewmaster getting himself his bottle toted out. Lifestealer doing pretty all right for himself. Got his CS at a really decent rate. And we do see Alex get some more sentry wards. Boss has his soul ring. And Lifestealer just essentially being given free farm. Light of Heaven can't do enough to harass this guy. I'm really surprised. I think what's going to happen here is we'll see Navi push down this top tier 1 tower and then rotate these two heroes down bottom. Puppy comes in, gets tossed on a Kuroki. That's pretty smart. You're going to get the tether. He's going to pop back on Kuroki and stun him for just a second. But his Spike Carapace is going to keep him protected by, you know, just being one of the most obnoxious skills in the entire game. I would imagine now that we'll see the Wisp Coddle switch down and then a Bounty Hunter maybe switch up. But not necessarily. They could just want to go ahead and pressure out this tier 2 tower. Dindy versus Fata, kind of interesting at the moment. Dindy has double the CS, and that's just a function of having that Wisp in lane, right? He gets to be more brave. He reality rips in. Dindy is going to get a 2-second stun. It's not going to be enough to take him down. Right now, he has a maximum stun time of 3 seconds, and that's what he was really hoping for there. I believe he could have gotten a kill off of that if it had worked out in his favor. Chaos Knight, of course, is called Chaos Knight for a reason, and Light of Heaven gets chased out of the Radiant jungle. Alex has placed himself down. Well, he has sentry wards in his inventory. He must have just been harassing Light of Heaven when he was trying to get creep camps. Meanwhile, though, Black continues to free farm. He's got a 5-minute Hand of Midas, and it's already been used. We're going to see him start to shoot up relatively quickly. And I just don't know that Navi has a hero that's quite capable of going toe-to-toe with Black in the late game. So they're going to want to gank him off pretty quickly. I would imagine once Wisp gets 6, which is a pretty long ways off. She's only level 3 right now. Oh, we do have the open wounds on Light of Heaven. Sentry Ward comes down from Alex. There's the follow-up stun, and Light of Heaven is going to go down. That's first blood in favor of Mouse. Meanwhile, middle, Puppy in on Fata, but Nyx is there for support, going to force them back. Maleficus is out on Dindy. Just being absolutely obnoxious in the way that only that skill can be. The Courier delivers. It's a bottle crowing for Fata at the moment. 41 last hits on the way of Lifestealer. That's going to mean, yeah, he's got about 100 gold per minute than anybody on the Dire side. And that's going to be a problem if that continues over the course of the game. You can't just let Lifestealer, you know, do whatever he wants for the entirety of a game of Dota. It just doesn't work that way. Let's see. Mid, continuing to be a stalemate. Nyx Assassin not really getting a whole lot done, but he is managing to keep Fata safe, right? Dindy knows that every time he goes in on Fata, just like what we have here, Nyx is going to be there. And a 1-second stun, really unlucky, probably going to get Puppy killed. Yeah, Puppy does go down. That 1-second stun combined with the haste rune on Brewmaster that he had bottled allowed him to just pick up that kill. And Brewmaster is now 6, so he's not really gankable in the same way that he was 30 seconds ago, right? If Dindy goes in on him, even if he gets a really big stun, he's going to need to kill him before Fata is allowed to press R, or Brewmaster is just going to do what Brewmaster does and live. And here comes, yeah, just like that. Just like that. Now Dindy's stunned out by the Earth Bear, and Fata is going to chase in a little bit. The Storm Bear is going to pick Wisp up. with Cyclone and reposition for the Fire Bear to get some of those lovely, lovely Radiance ticks off, but it's not enough to kill them out, and Fata comes back to being just a normal sad panda. Meanwhile, Alex going on Light of Heaven. We got that Sentry Ward dropped under the table, and he brings him down with a combination of his stun and his Wave of Terror. The Vengeance are already at level 3 on Vengeful Spirit. That's going to give a 28% damage bonus to friendly units near him, which is pretty big. Dindy stuns in on Fanta. Reality Rifts. Oh, but there's a big black hole. It's going to get both of them, and this is going to be the death of both of those heroes. So it's now 5-0 in favor of Mouse, and I really feel like they just are just plain outlaning them. The Coddle is going to come in and get a lot of damage on Fanta, but I don't know that he's going to quite get it. Oh, he does. He does. That's really good for them. You know, you want to keep that brew down, right? He's the, second most farmed player. Oh, I apologize. I missed that entirely. Light of Heaven is just absolutely getting eaten up in this bottom lane, and Navi's already lost a tower there. Meanwhile, Tiny doing his thing, trying to push, but it's 6-1 in the favor of Mousesports. We see they already have like a 3,000 gold lead and a 3,000 experience lead. That's not bad for 8 minutes into the game, right? Considering that they don't have a tower advantage right now. That's just all hero kills is all that is. It's all hero kills and Black just getting his farm on with his Hanamitis and really being completely left alone in the lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tiny continues to try to pressure, but I don't feel like that's really a threat worth attention from Mousesports right now. We do see Kuroki. He's ulted up and he's TP'd down bottom. He's looking for himself someone. He's going to try to go on Dindy. Dindy doesn't know he's here, of course. Dindy thinks he's about to get himself a life stealer. Kuroki, though, pops out. There's the initial stun. And where's the open wounds? Open wounds. There's the open wounds on Dindy. Dindy ults. And Lifestealer rages away the stun. Here comes the Coddle Blast. All those beautiful, beautiful horses. Gonna hit, but, Nyx Assassin with his Spike Carap is just going to reflect that back in the form of a stun on Carl, so he's not going to actually take any damage there. And meanwhile, Brewmaster is going to push up a little bit on mid. Let's see what else we got going on. Hero level wise, we see kind of the situation that Navi is in right now. Their Bounty Hunter and their Chaos Knight just not performing in the sense that they really needed them to for this game. Their Tiny is decently leveled, but I don't feel like he's particularly scary right now with the Brewmaster ult and the Rage on Lifestealer. Tiny needs to, once he gets that 4th level up in Toss, he'll be a lot scarier for sure. Navi, though, getting pretty aggressive, looking to go behind the tower maybe for a gank, maybe a dive. But they decide better of it. We have now Light of Heaven's kind of trapped in between the Radiant. He gets the track up. We do have a lot of wards around, but no sentry wards. The sentry wards for the Radiant are on Pos, who is sticking pretty well back for the fight. Navi has decided this is a fight they want to have. They want this tier 1 mid tower. They need to get some room so that they can start zipping Dindy around the map with Wisp and hopefully turn this game around with ganking power. Coddle Blast comes out, but Karaki's just going to press E there with Spike Carapace and stun Coddle and take no damage from it. It's a pretty good feeling as a Nyx Assassin to see all those horses come in and you just punish them for it instead of the other way around. Meanwhile, Lifestealer just going to continue farming, and I just can't help but feel that this is a ticking time bomb right now that's going to result in a lot of pain for Navi in about 7 or 8 minutes. Mouse is kind of positioning like they want to do something mid. They've been pretty defensive there all game. It's, we've spent a large amount of time with Mousesports heroes kind of huddled up inside of that easy camp on the Radiant side. They get a little, they're starting to venture a little further out. Lifestealer down here does not have vision of Light of Heaven right now, but Light of Heaven, of course, does not know that, so he's playing it a little bit safer. We do have some counter warding going on middle from both teams. And Tiny is just trying to get his farm on. Tiny is actually the 2nd highest CS on the map right now. And that's a place that Tinies do enjoy being, I must say. Getting levels up on Tiny is huge, right? Every hero, as we look at the hero level, every hero who is lower than Tiny is in absolute danger of just being comboed to death. The problem, of course, is that there are very few heroes who are... And we do have the swap in on Assad. Assad gets stunned up, and the Brewmaster ult... That was probably a bit of an overcommittal with Brewmaster ulting there. I think he was reasonably dead anyway. I don't think that was needed with 3 heroes there. But that does secure them the kill, and they're probably going to pressure the mid-tier 1 tower now because of it, as Fata comes back into being a normal sad bear. Of course, they know that's not the real Wisp, but they make sure it dies quickly anyway. We do have the drums out on Tiny. Tiny's not doing bad for himself, right? If we look at the net worth, he's the highest on the Dire for sure. But he's just nowhere near competing with Lifestealer right now, and Lifestealer continues to farm. I can't help but feel that this is going to be the end of Navi if they don't do something about it right now. And we do see Dindy teleport, or not teleport, he does rotate down. Wisp teleports in, he's got Puppy with him. There's the Black Hole. Black Hole catches Wisp and catches Havast. Big 4-second stun out from Dindy though. Meanwhile, Havas trying to run away from that Lifestealer. The Reality Rift's going to bring him back. It's going to save Havas. No, the Infest is going to get it. And that's going to be a dead Lifestealer, but that was a pretty good trade for them, I would say. They're going to get... Well, Lifestealer dying is obviously bad for Mouse, right? But he's in a position where he can afford a death. Meanwhile, Tiny, who's trying desperately to catch up with Lifestealer, can't. And Chaos Knight can't. Wisp has just been getting absolutely hammered on, but that's just a support dying. You don't care about that. But I can't help but feel that the race right now is Lifestealer v Tiny, right? And if both of them die, you know, it's kind of a wash. But I believe it's in Lifestealer's favor just because of his gold advantage. We do see Pos. He's got his mechanism up right now. 14-minute mechanism. Definitely not a bad thing to have. The urn is up on Vengeful Spirit. Fox got himself a double damage rune bottle and a blink dagger. So the next time he's got his ultimate, he's going to be big, big, big. We do see we have double smoke up on Navi, so they're, you know, they want to be aggressive right now, but it's Mouse who's taking the positioning here to harass this middle tier 1 tower. The Coddle Blast comes out, but doesn't find anyone, doesn't even find any creeps. And we have everybody but Light of Heaven now just kind of centered around mid, posturing like they want this tower. The fortification comes out from Navi, and the Brewmaster activates his double damage rune. If he gets a really good blink in, he could do some serious damage. Coddle Blast comes out, but Lifestealer is going to get that tier 1 tower. Yeah, he's got his armlet now, and he's just going to be doing tons of damage for the rest of the game. With 2,300 gold, it'll be interesting to see what he goes next. He might go Deso. Fawcett is going to blink in on Assad, and he's going to, yeah, easy kill, easy kill. The swap comes out from Alex. Maybe a little bit of an overcommittal with the swap, but she wants to ensure that she gets her stun and that Coddle dies. Top Havas continuing to just try to farm, but I just don't see him. Yeah, I don't see him catching up anytime soon with the kind of gold per minute coming out of Nate's right now. And indeed, the tier 2 tower is going to go down for Navi. And if we look at the gold graph, we can see the Radiant are going to take a pretty comfortable advantage off of this. And their experience graph's 5,000 in their favor. That's just a comfy position to be in. Meanwhile, bottom, Light of Heaven with a Sentry Ward gets caught out by the Lifestealer and the Brewmaster. Between Brewmaster's Thunderclap and Lifestealer's Open Wounds, that was just a done deal. Bounty Hunter really not performing the way that he would like to in this game. Light of Heaven's 0-4 right now. You know, the Wisp being 0-3, you can understand, right? She's a Wisp. Wisps die. That's just something that happens. They're squishy. But Bounty, you expect a little higher standard out of, for sure. Lots of warding, counter warding going on around this mid tower. This has been for the amount of time that heroes have spent around this mid tower. It's shocking to me that it has so little damage on it. I feel like it's fair to say that both teams have kind of played around it for the majority of the game. Lifestealer's got himself 3,800 gold saved up, so that's not a Desolator. That's, I don't know, maybe a Heart. it's certainly possible. As he's killing himself up the ancient camp, he's now got 4,100 gold on him. He's looking for a kill up on Keeper the Light. Not going to get it, though. The track comes out on Karaki. The big thing to remember here is that the track, in terms of gold gain, is something that Bounty Hunter's not been using effectively. You know, every time you kill a hero that's tracked, that's a bonus, what, 100 and odd gold? Right now it's 150 gold for Bounty Hunter and 50 gold for allies. So, you know, if you have everybody in a fight and you get a kill on a track target, that's going to be, right now, just at level 1, that's 350 extra gold for killing that target. But he's not been in fights. He's not been tracking. We do see Fata blink in. He gets a Thunderclap down. And Mouse is most likely going to take this T2 bottom tower from Navi. So that brings the tower advantage fully into Mouse's favor. Havas pushes up the mid lane, decimates the creep wave, but is going to have to back away as Brewmaster teleports in. Puppy's here. Puppy and Fata going on? Nope. And TP's out. The Lifestealer inside of his friend. 5,000 gold now on the Lifestealer. 5,300. Let's see what the exact heart. 5,500 is for heart. Yeah, there's items coming out on the courier right now for him. It's a full Desolator, which kind of surprised me he didn't get that sooner. And he'll probably work on a heart next. Dindy desperately trying to farm up, but I don't see him doing anything right now. He doesn't have his BKB. He's got the recipe and he's got the Ogre Club, but he's going to need another 1,100 gold before he can finish that up. And until he finishes that BKB, he's at the mercy of any number of quantity of disables that are going to come out of Mouse. Lifestealer gets tracked up, but that's an empty threat, right? Fata drops into the secret shop, buys himself a point booster. Be interested. Oh, he's going to build an Aghanim Scepter with that point booster. Absolutely. It was stupid of me to even question otherwise. With that Aghanim Scepter, big thing on that is that's going to increase his ultimate duration from wait, why is it not showing me? Okay, yeah. From 19 seconds to 26 seconds. That's going to be pretty big. An extra 7 seconds of being completely magic immune and essentially taking no damage ever because you know, recombine back into your bear form the way it was originally. We do have a Wisp TP in on bottom, looking like they're going to try to push a tower with that Aghanim Scepter up on Havas. Havas, of course, going to massacre this creep wave really quickly, and yeah, he'll get this tower, no problem. It's a pretty big item for Tiny. Once you get the Aghanims on that hero, he becomes infinitely more effective now that, you know, he's cleaving. He's getting 75% bonus building damage, 50% cleave damage. That's nothing to sneeze at. Mouse, however, is now going to be pressuring the tier 1 top tower from Navi. Navi does have a Fortify, but they don't want to fight it. That Desolator, man, just brings that tower down so fast. So fast. The Black Hole is up on Enigma. You know, there hasn't been a team fight in a long time, but this is Navi's opportunity, they feel, to get a Roshan. So they're going to sacrifice potentially 2 towers for this, but I don't think they're going to get it. I feel like, yeah, with this Sentry Ward right here, they've spotted that, and they're moving down right now. Mousesports is going to come try to interrupt their fun, and Navi has to be really careful here. If they don't get this Roshan and get out now, they're going to get 5-man Black Hole and probably just lose a barracks instantly for their trouble. Here comes Enigma. Puppy's going to die out pretty quickly. Roshan goes down, but there's the Black Hole. But Tiny does manage to pick up the Aegis first. Light of Heaven immediately taken out by the Lifestealer. And there's not a whole lot Havas can do by himself against this entire team, right? Keeper of the Light is busy being whirlwinded up by the Storm Spirit ult. Havas is going to come back, and I feel like he's going to come back to his death. Yeah, and there he goes down. Oh, poor Assad is now trapped up on top of the cliff. He gets swapped back down by the Vengeful Spirit, who's going to toss a Magic Missile at him, and he's going to die as well. So that's a 5-hero wipe plus an Aegis lost for Navi there. That's got to be pretty bad for them. About 6,000 gold and 6,000 experience in the favor of Mousesports right now. And we'll see what kind of big items that full team wipe allows Mouse to bring out. We do see a Dagon is going to be brought out for the Nyx Assassin. Yeah, that's going massively increase his killing potential. I imagine he's just going to go wisp hunting now. And Dindy gets a beautiful 4-second stun on this Hell Bear Smasher. Poor creep. Dindy's Black King bar still another 400 gold away. Got tons of mouse heroes coming back to the fountain right now. Just, I guess, getting ready to rest and recharge. And Vladimir's Aura is the first, I guess if you want to call it big, first big item out on Light of Heaven. And I'm going to be honest with you, Vladimir's Aura on Bounty Hunter does not confidence inspire. He just recognizes exactly how dead he is in every single one of these fights. He's 0-5 right now, just not getting anything done. He's hoping that Lifesteal might help to switch that around just a little bit. Wisp is hunting. Wisp and Havast are here. They don't know, I don't believe, that Black is here. And we do have Radiant moving up. They're going to pin these two heroes in here if they're not careful. Black is going to be seen by that sentry ward, so Puppy and Havas going to go their separate ways. I don't think they should have gone their separate ways. They probably should have stayed tethered, but Havas manages to get himself TP'd out in time. Nyx decides that he wants to go for the Wisp rather than fighting Havas. Wisp is going to TP back using her ultimate, pick up a teleportation scroll, go right back where she was before, and teleport back to base. That's the power of Wisp Dota, ladies and gentlemen. The power of Wisp Dota. Light of Heaven trying to get a little bit of pushing power down on the bottom, but you know, with 130 bonus damage, he's barely out damaging the Vengeful Spirit right now. Assad comes in for support. He's going to blow up this next creep wave for sure. But, you know, the top tower for Navi is going down much faster than the bottom tower for Mouse. It's already down, and they're going to be pressuring that T3 and that barracks pretty soon. Light of Heaven can sit here and whack at this barracks all he wants. He's pretty much useless right now, except for trap gold. We just see the gold graph continues to climb in the favor of the Radiant. And we have some TPs back. Lifesteal is going to TP back on the Light of Heaven. Light of Heaven, though, going to make it away just in time. Lifesteal doesn't have any vision. And we do have the Courier. What did the Courier just grab? The Courier just grabbed an entire AC for Black. You know, that's going to be pretty big, I would say. That's going to be pretty big. Light of Heaven still trying to farm up. He's got 1,600 gold on him now. That gives him a little bit of something. But if we look at hero level, hero levels have kind of equalized somewhat, except for this guy. This Lifestealer, now 8-1, is really just going on a tear in this game. In the same way that Animage did in the previous game. Nyx Assassin hunting around in the jungle trying to get somebody, and we do have a gem up on Queen of Pain, on Vengeful Spirit. She's going to use that to de-ward and also ensure that she's protected from Bounty Hunter. Not that they're terribly scared about him to begin with. We do have the BKB will be finished up for Enigma in about 150 gold, so not this camp but the next one. That's going to be pretty nice for him. It means his BKB or his ultimates or his black holes are not going to be interrupted by Chaos Knight, nor are they going to be interrupted by Tiny, nor are they going to be interrupted by Bounty Hunter, nor are they he's going to get free black holes, right? There's nothing that goes through BKB on Navi's team. And that might be a lot of the reason that they picked that Enigma up. We do see some posturing from Kuraki. He's going to just stay out of the way of these battle horses. Illuminate just absolutely does so much damage. Kuraki does get attacked by the lane creeps here, so he knows that this sentry ward is down. He knows that he's visible. And there's another sentry ward here as well. And looks like that's getting counter-warded out, yeah. The Gem on Vengeful Spirit just means she gets to walk around killing all the wards. And at this point, we see kind of what's happened, except for this push down on the bottom lane. Navi's kind of isolated inside of their base. The Wisp TP, they're going to come in and try to get this tower down really quickly, but there's the fort. And the fortification. Oh, Brewmaster blink in. He's got Lifestealer with him. Brewmaster ults. We've already got lots of damage on Navi. Havas is going to go down. Meanwhile, the Wisp TP carries Chaos Knight back to safety. Light of Heaven's going to try to get away. I don't see the gem anymore on Alex. I'd be interested to know, is it on Brew? Yeah, it's on Brewmaster now. That makes a lot more sense. So Light of Heaven not anywhere near safety right now, right? And if we look at the net worth, we'll kind of see the tail of this game. 18,000 net worth on the Lifestealer. He's got 2,100 gold, about to be 2,400 gold because of his Hand of Midas. and he's pretty much going full baller mode. There's 7,500 gold advantage and 8,000 gold or XP advantage in the favor of the Radiant right now, and that's going to be pretty hard for them to overcome, right? You really need Chaos Knight to get his big stuns. That's what makes that hero crazy, and he just can't get big stuns on Nags. Look at how fast that tower's going down. There is no fortification from Navi. We got the buyback out of Keeper of the Light, but it's just not. That's not going to be enough. The Reality Rift comes in on Kuroki. Kuroki not going to go down because of a black hole. Catches 2 of Navi out. Havas gets taken down. There goes Dindy. Dindy buys back. Havas buys back. Wisp is down. Nyx is down. Nyx gonna stay down. We'll check buyback status. Nyx does have buyback status if he needs it. Black coming in, open wounds. Dindy dies a second time, so that's no buyback for Dindy. And here comes the Maleficent on Havas. Havas is just gonna, the Keeper tries to blast him back, but Havas is, maybe forced staff to safety by Keeper. He's, he needs to be sure to thank Assad after this game is over for royally saving his ass. But that is going to be Barracks taken for the Radiant, for Mousesports, and that gives us about 3 minutes left, 4 minutes left on Roshan. But meanwhile, the Wisp teleport with Light of Heaven manages to counter Rax. That's pretty impressive. The Dagon out on Light of Heaven trying desperately to run. He pops his drum charge. Is he gonna get away here? Maybe we'll get to see a long range impale. No, it's too far. Kuroki, of course, has his Blink Dagger and the gem, but he's not going to chase any further. Pretty interesting that Navi managed to get a base, a Rax there. Havast is in on Black. Black is going to rage it up and going to try to eat up Puppy, but Puppy's going to get away thanks to his incredible movement speed. Havast doesn't have his cooldowns right now, does toss Black back. There's a 2-second stun on Black. Black dies. That's huge. Instant buyback from Black. Instant buyback, and that's gonna really help Navi in their attempts to equalize this game right now. We see the gold graph has gone all the way up to about 9,000 before coming back down a little bit. The XP graph peaked at a 14,000 advantage for the Radiant. If we look at hero levels, we should see the evidence in that, right? 19 level Nyx or Nakes. The only dire hero in the top 5 is Havast on his Tiny. I apologize, my brain just stopped right there. And if we look at gold per minute, it's going to continue to tell the tale that Lifestealer is just being left alone to do what Lifestealers do. I don't feel like he needed to buy back when he did. I understand that he might have done it to keep up pressure, but I just feel like that was a waste of the buyback cooldown. Here comes the Reality Rift in. 3-second stun, followed up by the Tiny Stun. The toss. Oh, is he going to go down? Oh, he does. They do manage to get Black. The ultimates are up from... sorry, I got caught up by that Steam message. The Black Hole has already been used up too recently on the Enigma. He's still got a 19-second cooldown, and that's going to result in Chaos Knight's death. We'll see if Famas is going to be able to do anything against Fanta. He gets out his stun combo, and just look at that amount of cleave damage. Fanta's got a double damage rune that he just activated. He's trying to drink through his bottle charges to stay alive. And he is going to go down to a Shuri toss. And there's a Gem of True Sight dropped on the ground right there. And I imagine Light of Heaven's going to very gladly either pick that up and use it to get some map control back or just immediately destroy it. That was a pretty big engagement for Navi. They did lose Chaos Knight and Wisp, but they killed Lifestealer. And Lifestealer bought back for that death. And that's the kind of play that Navi needs to get them back in this game. Hopefully they continue making plays like that, and we get to see a nice comeback, or a really nice evenly matched game of Dota. And Roshan back up. Light of Heaven's already on him. Light of Heaven doesn't really have a whole lot. There's the Brewmaster buyback. They know. They know. As they're moving towards the Roshan pit, the question is, can Light of Heaven get it done in time? I just don't think he can. If Navi's not careful, they're going to run into another situation where they're going to get caught. And the Black Hole's up. The Venge Spirit is up. Infest is up. They cannot have this fight right now. There's the Black Hole. Well, it gets Dindy and Havas. Havas goes down immediately. Dindy just gets wailed on. He pops his BKB, but that's not going to keep him alive. Yeah, he goes down immediately. There's the Swamp on a Assad. Assad's going to go down as well, and I just can't help but feel that Roshan was a mistake. It had mistake written all over it, and it just cost Navi dearly. If we look at the buyback status, the only heroes in the game who can buy back right now are Enigma and Vengeful Spirit, who are, of course, both alive for the Radiant. So if Navi wanted to contest this, the only things they would have to do it with are Light of Heaven and Wisp. Lifestealer's going to get himself an Aegis of the Immortal, rather. And Boss is going to be pushing up along with Faza on those tier 4 mid towers. We do have a counter push from Puppy bottom, but Puppy by himself I just don't feel like he's going to do a whole lot. He has his ultimate still, so we'll see if we can get some cheeky plays. Navi does have their Fortify. I'm surprised that they haven't spent it on this tier 4 tower. We do have the blink in from Brewmaster on Light of Heaven. He shows that, you know, I do see you. There's the Observer, the Sentry Ward right there. Alex swaps out Light of Heaven. There's the stun. Light of Heaven's going to go down. He buys back immediately. Here comes the Navi charge. They're trying to turn this around, but just look at Dindy's health. He just got evaporated. The Dagon finishes off Wisp. The Coddle Horse is going to come through, but they're just not as scary right now as they need to be. Havas is going to try, and he does get the toss to throw Lifestealer away from himself. Gosh, this fight's crazy. Coddle Horses are going to come through and finish off Enigma. Vengeful Spirit's going to go down. Aegis gets popped. Kuroki trying to back out of here. Kuroki's going to get tossed in. Yeah, and Kuroki's going to go down. Oh, but there's Black back up with a and Havas just kind of stood there and took that for a second. Oh, that was just so huge. 3-second stun up off Chaos Knight. Wisp Tether stun. Shuri Toss. No mana for Shuri Toss. The Tether stun. And there's Havas coming back in for the double kill. And Navi need to make something happen right now. There are no buybacks for Lifestealer. There's no buyback for Brewmaster. This is their opportunity to come right up this mid lane and try to equalize this game. If we look at the gold graph, it's just been steady climbing in the favor of the Radiant. And every time we see Navi make some really clutch plays, they tend to push it back a little bit, but then they lose it immediately afterwards. Tiny's got himself a plate mail. That's probably going to be a Shiva's with his 4,200 gold that he's got saved up. Shiva's is going to be pretty big, I would feel. And we do see the buyback come out of Lifestealer. He just got that buyback, so now he's back on a 5-minute cooldown. And gosh, he's just spent so much money on his buybacks. He's now got 163 gold, but he already has a Heart, a Desolator, an AC, and Nyx Assassin just purchased another level in Dagon. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a level 3 Dagon in a professional Dota game. I just want to make that perfectly clear. Level 3 Dagon professional Dota game. This should be interesting. Typically, it's not considered to be worth it, right? Because the more money you spend on Dagon, the damage doesn't scale with the amount of money that you spend on it. But apparently, he wants motherfuckers dead, and he wants them dead now. We do see Mousesports is pushing up mid. I'm not quite sure why Navi is pressuring bottom. They might try to just go for a GG here. I think that their plan is to catch a Mousesports hero out and then push directly up for the T4 and try to GG it out. It'll be interesting to see if they can accomplish that. Vengeful Spirit's got herself a Vladimir's. She picked up relatively recently, or I'm just really bad at this. And that's going to give even more survivability to that Lifestealer because that is going to stack with his Feast, his passive lifesteal. I haven't seen a big item out of Dindy in a long time. Dindy just not having the game of his life right now. He's 1-6. Bounty Hunter is actually doing better than Dindy is right now, and that's pretty shocking. We do have smoke up from Mouse. They're coming in. Navi, though, smokes up as well. Their spider sense kind of tingling. They know something's not right. With all of this vision, they feel like there should be Mouse heroes visible. Interesting. Navi's leaving their base as Mouse is entering. Navi has the capability to get back incredibly quickly thanks to Wisp and be annoying like that. Mouse, though, sort of hesitating. Not quite sure why they're not seeing any heroes. Are they just going to go for a straight base trade? No, they can't do that. Here come the TPs from Navi. Dindy immediately gets stunned out and wiped from the game. Dindy buys back. There's the big black hole. Gets Puppy. Gets Havas. Gets Light of Heaven. That's Puppy dead. That's Havas dead. That's Light of Heaven almost dead. Dindy's back in the fight. Dindy's dead. And the GG comes out from Navi. A really well-earned game, I would say. From Mousesports. They did everything that they needed to do, and I think they outdrafted Navi too. Navi didn't make it a point to pick up a single hero on their team with some sort of BKB penetration, and that is going to end up punishing them, and I think